Pakistan-based terror organizations have once again issued open threats against India, including calls for suicide attacks and jihad, in what security agencies view as an attempt to revive cross-border terrorism. The public nature of these statements has raised fresh questions over Pakistan's continued provision of safe haven and ideological support to terrorist groups targeting India. Against this backdrop, India has reinforced its counter-terror posture, with Operation Sindoor signaling that such threats will invite decisive consequences. To assess the strategic implications of these developments, I am joined by defense expert Dhruv Katoch. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show. So my first question to you is, we are seeing terror leaders in Pakistan speaking openly about genocide, suicide attacks and jihad on public platforms. Has Pakistan crossed from plausible deniability into open normalization of terrorism as state policy?
There is certain leaders of terrorist organizations like the Hezbollah, the Jaish and the Lashkar-e-Taiba. They have been given a free hand in Pakistan to run. And Pakistan has still got adequate deniability as to what they are doing. So it'll be difficult to pinpoint Pakistan on the world stage on statements made by these individuals. But that notwithstanding, I think the whole world knows that Pakistan is a sponsor of terror, that these terrorist organizations are supported, trained, administered, financed and sent into India by the Pakistani state, especially by the ISI. So there is no secret as far as what Pakistan is doing.
From a counter-terrorism standpoint, how significant is this shift from covert infiltration to overt intimidation through public speeches, videos and audio messages?
I have been following the Pakistani terrorist groups which operate against India for a long time. And I have seen these videos come out. It is not a recent phenomenon. They have been doing it over the years. And they simply call it, they will use words like freedom of speech or whatever have you. And but to say it is a new activity, no. They have been doing it earlier. They are doing it now, and I think they will continue doing it in the future unless we give them appropriate deterrence, which will make them rethink their options.
Pakistan has long argued that its own instability makes it a victim of terrorism. How credible is that argument when terror leaders operate openly, freely, and with the apparent institutional protection?
Pakistan has always claimed to be a victim of terrorism. But the whole point is what the Americans themselves said, that those who train the snakes, you can't complain about them being in your backyard. Pakistan has been the epicenter of terrorism, not just within Pakistan, but across the world. Any terrorist attack which takes place anywhere in the world, there is somehow or the other a Pakistani link attached to it. Now, inevitably, if you keep these snakes in your backyard, some of them will turn back and bite you. So they are facing their own problems now. They have got a very serious internal security situation with the freedom fighters of Balochistan, with the rebel groups in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and now they also have problems with Afghanistan. There are very serious disturbances on the Pakistan-Afghan border. So whatever Pakistan has done, I think their own policies, their own security policies and the policies of the military are directly responsible for what is happening in Pakistan.
Despite international sanctions and designations, terror leaders continue to reorganize. Does this expose a structural failure of global counter-terror frameworks when terrorism is shielded by a sovereign state?
I've always had doubts about the international systems as far as counter-terrorism is concerned. Most of these Western bodies, including the United States, they have used these very same organizations when it suited their purposes. Whether it is the Islamic State, whether it is Al-Qaeda, whether it is the Taliban in Afghanistan, at some point of time, the Western agencies or the Western countries, they used it for their purposes. So, to actually come down to a stage where the whole world will fight terror, I think is going to be a very difficult proposition. However, on two things, I think countries are cooperating. One is on as far as finances are concerned, and the second is as far as intelligence is concerned. Now, where the interests of countries converge, then I think a lot of cooperation takes place on these two fields, and India is cooperating with quite a few countries on these two particular issues. One is choking finances, and the second is intelligence, getting intelligence of their activities.
India's Operation Sindoor sent a clear message that terrorism will invite direct consequences. Would you say Operation Sindoor marked a strategic shift where India seized escalation control and imposed deterrence on its own terms?
However, when we see that Pahalgam still took place in 2025, it in a sense indicated that this deterrence still has not really worked. And I think now we are moving on to a different stage. What we did in Operation Sindoor was much more than military action. One, diplomatically, huge actions were taken. Their diplomatic missions were curtailed. Number two, militarily, of course, these operations, the whole world knows about what we've done. But thirdly, in the economic and social domain, I think that has been a huge game changer itself, especially curtailing the Indus water treaties and making it inoperable. Now that, I think, is going to have the most serious ramifications on Pakistan and will change their behavior in course of time. So when we are looking at these four major changes made, it indicates not just a military approach, but a whole of government approach, a whole of India approach, where society, economy, the military and diplomacy all merge together to deter Pakistan.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights, sir.
Thank you.